This is a quick update on the ceasefire agreement and prisoner exchange in Gaza. Now, over the past few days, the resistance have released all Zionist captives from Gaza and also handed over 9 bodies of deceased Zionist captives as a result of the Zionists who were killed as a result of the Zionist airstrikes on Gaza. In exchange, the Zionist entity has released 1,968 Palestinians who were released to the West Bank, Gaza, and also to Egypt. They also released 90 bodies of deceased Palestinian hostages whom upon medical examination were found to be killed under severe torture and bullet wounds whilst handcuffed and blindfolded. The Palestinian hostages whom were released, they started to recount horrifying stories from inside the Zionist dungeons where they were subjugated to physical torture, psychological torture, starvation, stripped and raped, and even forcing prisoners down to their knees and raped by police dogs. Terrorism and inhuman behavior, honestly never heard of before by the most vile of people. Meanwhile, the Zionist terrorists, they continue to kill and kidnap Palestinians in Gaza, and even though there is a ceasefire, over a dozen Palestinians were killed and approximately 12 of them were kidnapped in Rafah. They also refuse to open up the Rafah border crossing, breaking all the ceasefire agreement conditions time and time again. Their excuse for not opening the Rafah border, they say because there are still bodies of Zionist captives which haven't been handed over, even though those Zionist bodies are buried underneath the rubble of buildings across Gaza, and these buildings are bombed by the Zionist entity. So the people of Gaza don't even have the means to move the rubble to save their own people, to bring out their own relatives. So how do you expect them to have the means to bring out your captives? And Donald Trump and Netanyahu both came out threatening that they can now resume the war at any moment. And Trump said the war will resume with the one word from me, threatening that if the resistance don't disarm, then the genocide will resume. All the while, the Arab and the Muslim countries, they continue to provide cover for the Zionist entity and work hand in hand with the US to pressure the Palestinians to raise the white flag and hand over their souls and their land to the devils. And that's the situation in a nutshell at the moment. So there's a lot of threats now. Now that the Zionists have received their captives, there's a lot of threats that they can resume the war at any moment by one word from Trump. So Trump is pretty much saying that the war and peace is in my hand right now. I am leading this campaign. There are US troops on the ground right now. There are talks about some international forces that might be deployed. And everyone is focusing on the resistance and Palestinians. And no one is talking about the Zionists and the war criminals and those who committed the genocide, about holding them to account, about holding the entity to account. And the whole focus is once again on the Palestinians, as though they are the ones that committed the genocide over the past 2 years. So we need to reaffirm and continue fighting the fight, because this is not over. And we believe that the only solution and the only way to bring peace, if they want to bring peace like they said in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, if they want to bring peace to the region and to Palestine, there is only one way. And we say never again to this genocide. The only way to bring peace is through 4 phases to bring peace. The first phase is to release all Palestinian hostages who remain in the prisons. There is approximately 10,000 Palestinian hostages who still remain in those prisons, who are undergoing the worst conditions anyone can ever think of. These Palestinian prisoners who came out said that we would rather die 100 times a day than spend one day in those dungeons. That's how bad the conditions are in there. The second phase is to disarm the Zionist entity entirely. You cannot trust these people with weapons. We've seen what they can do. We've seen that they are willing to use them time and time again to kill the Palestinian people. And not even only Palestinians, Lebanese, Syrian, Egyptian, Jordanian, whoever it is. The third phase is to dismantle the Zionist colonial entity entirely. And the fourth phase is to deport every single Zionist illegal occupier from the land of Palestine. And this is how we come to a peaceful solution, and it's not very difficult to even comprehend this.